maybe I should just keep this as a gimmick and wear this helmet every single time. So, Final Fantasy III. Now that I have beaten it again for the second time, the first time was on the 3DS, I can definitively say I like Final Fantasy II better, at least the pixel remasters when I compare the two. And here's why. The job system, which was introduced in Final Fantasy III, is very flawed. It's flawed because you can't switch your jobs, like, for really usefulness. Like, in Final Fantasy V, every job, as you progress through it, you would get a couple things, like there would be passives that you would carry on even if you switched your class. In Final Fantasy III, you literally drop back to ground zero, rebuild, and when you do master it, which takes forever because you have to reach level 99, it absolutely means nothing. Except in the 3DS one, you could like get cards, but it took even longer to master a job. With Final Fantasy III Pixel Remaster, the job system, well, slightly improved. There's no point in mastering a job unless you want a trophy. And I spent a very long time leaving my characters as the jobs that I had put them in because I thought maybe there was something that would happen if I mastered a job. And that was not the case. So that was incredibly frustrating. Secondly, the game has massive difficulty spikes, um, and it solidly was okay. I think I like 2's Pixel Remaster better because of the quality of life improvements they did. As far as the story goes, you're four orphans who fall down a cave shaft and find a crystal that gives you jobs, and you now can switch your class to the first batch of them, which, includes the warrior, the monk, the red mage, black mage, white mage. Of course, you don't get thief until later on, and then as you progress through the game, you continue to find the other crystals. There's a plot from the villain to basically weaken the crystals of light so that way he can send the entire world, both the light and dark worlds, into the void. And it's just a stereotypical, well, at this point, it's stereotypical. The story is very plain because, granted, this was a Nintendo game. I know that when we get to Final Fantasy IV's Pixel Remaster, there's going to be a big jump in the storytelling because that's when they officially moved to the next console and had bigger cartridges to use. And as you go through finding these crystals, you fight against the forces of darkness. You get stronger. Eventually, you defeat the third disciple of Noah, which is Zande or Zand. And you had teamed up with Doga and the other one, the sleeping one. Anyway, so then after you defeat Zand or Zande, you have to go into the dark world because he had successfully brought the cloud of darkness into the world of light, and you have to stop it, but you have to go into its world to free the warriors of darkness. So you team up with the warriors of darkness, and you go take on the final boss, and you know, it's like I said, it's okay. A lot of the jobs get their first time here, and you can see how they thought that, some of these jobs seem like they're okay. But ultimately, when you get to the end, you just slap a bunch of ninjas in your party, and you keep one healer, which I think that the increased white mage class, I forget the name of it, I'll just call it priest, is better than sage, but I use sage simply because I had switched to it and I didn't feel like switching back. You, of course, with the ninjas you can throw, but there's only one item you can throw, which is shuriken, and you have to go through the Eureka depths to get to the guy who sells them. And if I had more, I could have quickly beat the end boss even faster than I did. Ninjas are broken because they can use any weapons and armor, and they, especially for a character who was a thief for a long time, uh, it seemed to have helped, or maybe it was just the weapon types, but the that was the one that was my main damage dealer. The problem is that when you switch your jobs around, you don't keep the stats that you've leveled up, so the characters, if they're all the same class, they seem to have the same stats, and there's no changing it around. Um, and solidly, it's okay. It's a fun RPG, but it is not one of the best Final Fantasies. And after playing, 1, 2, and 3 all relatively close together, I would say that I think 3 was the weakest of them so far. Well, at some point when I have some extra money, I will pick up 4 and start playing that because I'm playing through every single Final Fantasy. It'll be interesting when I get to Final Fantasy 6 because I actually have never beaten Final Fantasy 6. So 2 and 6 and 8 are the ones that I haven't beaten, and getting to those and revisiting them will be fun. Anyways, have a good day.